Hi, my name is Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you guys know, this is where we interview people that are just crushing it in this business and show you guys the inside scoop as to how multifamily investors are creating that massive success in their businesses and in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host, who's the director of our massive action team for the Warrior Group on, Mark Nagy.
Hey, Rod. Good to be back for another one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we've got a real treat today. We've got Victoria Yap, and Victoria is a nurse. Her and her husband Jasper are both nurses, and which just speaks to the beautiful heart that she has, because anybody that can do that has a beautiful heart. And she's in just under 250 units, some as a general partner and some as a limited partner. And we're going to have a lot of fun today. Welcome to the show, Victoria.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And like I said, this is part of my vision board coming to life. I'm Victoria Yap. I've been a nurse for 27 years. And
nice.
I immigrated in this country 23 years ago, and it's been a beautiful journey. And I'm
from where? From where, Victoria?
From the Philippines.
Okay. Yes. Well, why don't you tell a little bit of your story? Let's start there. Just kind of, you immigrated. That has to be that's a big deal. And just talk about your journey in real estate and just kind of bring us current. So go ahead.
Yeah. We are dedicated W-2 nurses. And when I had my third baby, I realized that I don't think I can retire early. So I started researching back then on ways how to hack it. And most of the people from my research, I've learned that they've been big fans of real estate. And so that's how I started after realizing I had my third baby, that, early retirement is not going to be, our nursing job will not afford us. So we started in the single family space in 2013. And so we realized the beauty and the growth potential of being in real estate. And so as we continuously and slowly grown our portfolio around our area, COVID hit obviously in 2020. And there's so many life-defining moments that presented us. Number one is tomorrow's never guaranteed. As frontliners, people, colleagues friends were dying left and right. And it was a reality that's like, oh my goodness. If there are things that I want to do or want to accomplish, I have to do it now. There's no time for delay. So I've deep dive into how I can grow our resources and whatever little savings we've had. And that's how I bumped into multi-unit family investment. And the funny thing is, I joined a multimillionaire book club, and I just learn and pick up from their brains what are their investment styles, stocks and whatnot. And the syndication was part of it. And so that's how I got interested, because I've already had single family. And so I learned from most of the LPs, limited partners, how they vet sponsors, what are they looking for, the critical part of trusting the operators. So kind of like in the front line, I knew what the game was. And then I further learned from all the podcasts I can learn, especially at the time when it was very dark and depressing in the healthcare, where when I come home, I don't want to bring that darkness at home. I want to keep on finding a positive vibe and energy that wanted me to wake up, for another hopeful day. And so that's how I just invested the rest of my energy from learning. And so one day I bumped into a friend who actually posted in social media about syndication, and they were doing a due diligence, said, "Oh my goodness, this is my time. I think I have to do this based from what I've learned." And so that's how they introduced me to the Warrior program. And this is it. This is where it all started.
Were you listening to my podcast or other podcasts? How did you, it was through this friend that introduced you?
Correct.
Okay. So you didn't have to suffer through my show at all. Oh, lucky you. So you said something that really resonated with me, Victoria, and that was you came to the realization that you had to do it now. That, time is the only non-renewable resource that we have. My dad had a phrase that I used to love, which was, if not now, when, So I really appreciate that you said that. So I know that you have done, you joined the Warrior program back in, what was it, December of 21. Mm-hmm. And I know you've done a 40-unit syndication with other Warriors. Do you want to tell us a little about that deal? Where is it? How did you find it? And just talk about that deal a little bit, if you would.
Yeah, of course, after the Bootcamp in December 2021, it was exciting, exhilarating, and it was just a very enlightening.
So I didn't know you went to a boot camp. So you suffered through 3 whole days of me then. Which one was that? Was that Denver or what was that?
It was
Orlando boot camp. Okay, yeah. Which is where we got one coming up, right? So, okay. All right. Forgive me.
And I got to know the faces, the sponsors, the syndication community. Such a wonderful group of people, just amazing. Right. So from different facets of life, engineers, ITs, medical professionals, teachers, just anybody. But, we resonated the same core beliefs of wanting to grow together. And that was it. You just be with people, connect, network, and get to know them. And, you kind of have a sense of who the people you want to work with. And that got me hooked. And of course, after having gone through the training of underwriting, vetting your deals, understanding the numbers, it is a process. It's not an overnight thing that you just jump in. Because, learning how to develop your skills, either you want to be an underwriter, you want to find the deals, you want to be an investor relation officer, you want to be a capital raiser, you have to grow those skills. Even if you have some natural inherent skills, you have to find and discover yourself in the process. And that's how it came about. The year, a little over after a year, it materialized. I was part of an amazing 40-unit deal in Tampa.
Fantastic. And what role did you play? And how did you decide what role you were going to play on that team? Speaking of roles.
Right. As nurses, we're a people person. It's easy for us to connect and talk to people. And we also are part of the asset management and investor relation. That's what we do. As also inherent to our skills, we study the terms, and then of course we simplify the science of syndication to our investors so that they make it so understandable and easy to grasp, especially for the first time investors, because it could be as complicated as you want to simplify it. So we were like bridging the gap of understanding that science that needed to be educated to our investors.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's how it works. So did you have any setbacks in this journey, either in your single family time or in that multifamily space? Any setbacks that failures or I call them seminars? Any things that you grew from or that you could share?
Yeah, both in LPs and GPs, I've had experienced setbacks, and my experience in the LP really have helped me tremendously on how to become a better GP. Okay. So it gave me a firsthand idea on how to take care of my own GP investors. Of course, the setbacks will always going to be there. It's always going to strengthen you. It's always going to tap into how are you going to continue to solve problems and how are you going to break it to your investors. Staying on course on what are the the deals are there for, that it's not a get rich technique.
Get rich quick. Yeah, no, it's not a get rich quick thing. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you have to let it grow. And as a real estate investor since 2013, I know that. I mean, you don't grow overnight. You have to wait for the seeds to sprout, and you have to take care of it. And the good thing about our deal is that our team really make it a point and very intentional in giving our investors monthly update. We do investor calls for the good, the bad, and in the between. Whatever the delays in the distribution, we let them know, and we kind of give them the real picture of what's going on. And I love the transparency, because
it's critical.
Yeah,
no, that's critical. You have to do that. You have to share the good, bad. It doesn't matter, but you have to be immediate with that communication. So that's super, super smart. Let me ask you this: what's some of the best advice that you've ever received?
To stay true to your core, and that although people may change, but know who the people that you can trust for the long haul. Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Because in good and in bad times, people will show their true colors. But you give them grace, but you will know and identify the real people who will be there for you in the long haul. May it be in the operators or in the investor side, because some people will start questioning you. But as long as you know your stuff, you're not hiding anything. It is what it is. The climate of some of the speed bumps that you've mentioned. I mean, everywhere, even the best deals and the best team are experiencing some speed bumps right now, and it matters on how the team are dealing with it together.
Well, you've talked about operators and investing in people, and I know you've mentioned something that a lot of people have mentioned on the podcast. You can learn a lot through passive investing. What are some of those learning lessons that you've gotten from being a passive investor in LP and some other deals?
Oh, the beauty of really just sitting back and let your money grow for you. I am a passive / active investors with my single family, and it's a lot of work. But being an LP passive investor, you're earning while you're sleeping. Man, that's like
that's a way to multiply your money for sure. It's a fantastic way.
Yes.
And I don't know that very many other assets that offer this, the security and the returns that multifamily real estate offer. So let me ask you this, Victoria: how did you get over your fear of taking down that first GP deal? Because it was scary, I'm sure. What was the purchase price? Let's start there.
I think it was $7 million.
$7 million. Okay, that's a lot of zeros. So how did you get over the fear of getting involved in that deal? Talk about that a little bit.
I think it wasn't more of a fear, but it was more of offering something to my investors, an opportunity to grow. It was more of like giving them a happy pill, because I've invested in that deal too. And, hey, I'm offering you something that we can grow together. And I just tried and tapped friends and the friends of friends who invested, and I get to educate on what are the ways to diversify their income.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, how did you even get into that deal to even become someone who could raise capital? Was it through the Warrior Group? Was it through your network? How did you get into that deal?
It was definitely through the Warrior Group, because there would no other way for me to get started, because being a part of the community that share the same values. And it's a small in the sense it is actually a large community, but it's small in the way that we get to know each other. I get to know their track. I get to know majority of the people, and I know who to follow. And we've got opportunities to network virtually or in boot camps. From Orlando, I joined the Denver the following year just to continue staying connected.
Oh, you went to Denver too. Good for you.
Yes,
fantastic.
because I wanted to stay on track with the people that I connect with, and I get to know the members of the network because it becomes your family, an extended
Right.
family at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way to describe it. I don't know if you're going to be able to make the boot camp coming up here in 30 days, but we've got Orlando again, so, you know,
Yeah,
and
I
this
know.
this will come out before then. And then, of course, we've got our Warrior Only event in Phoenix in November, which should be our largest Warrior Only event because we can hold more people than we could here in Sarasota. We always sold out with 300 people here for this Sarasota Warrior event, but we're doing one on the West Coast this time. So let me say this. If you're considering possibly getting some guidance, you know, so you can experience the life you're wanting this year rather than later, or maybe you just thought you could be more effective with really just doing it now, like Victoria said, you know, text the word crush to 72345 to see if the Warrior program might be able to help you overcome that or any other challenges with taking action so that you can accomplish, you know, what you want with lifetime cash flow. That's how this works. And, you know, and so that's what you do is you text the word crush to apply to 72345 and you will, I promise you, you will leave that call better than when you went on it because we add a ton of value whether we work together or not.
So joining the Warrior program has taught me to be really strongly convicted in pursuing my vision board. Before, it was just like a bucket list, you know, but then somewhere in that 3-day program, it sparked in me that, yeah, I can actually put up a vision board, and one of which actually we just accomplished because I told myself that I want to go travel with my family. And after getting through deals, I realized that I think we can afford it already because I'm earning extra income. And I just brought my whole family, even including my two sets of parents, Jasper's parents and our parents. We went to Europe. And to me, that was really a wow.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's like, you know, it's not just about massive deals or doors and massive money, but it's actually realizing that you're in this and it's a process of getting there, and one by one it's coming to life.
Yeah.
And
that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful that you got to take your parents too. I can tell you that was so rewarding for me the time I took you know, Tiffy's parents and my parents on cruises. We took them on a couple of cruises and just had a phenomenal time. And it's just so rewarding when you're able to do something like that. So thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely beautiful. So here's a question for you, Victoria. What words of wisdom would you share with aspiring commercial real estate investors?
So coming from the healthcare industry, we know that we're evidence-based. We want to see the evidence before. You kind of like have to unlearn some part of it because, yes, you get to know the people that you can trust with. You got to educate yourself and just do it.
That is so powerful because that's so many people need to see the whole road. They need to see it. And what a great definition or description you just gave, because you're right. Everything you do is based on evidence. But if you moved into this business and you want to see evidence, you're not going to see it until you actually take action and do something. So what a great parallel. I love that description because, you know, we get so many people that are, you know, analytical and they have to check off every box before they make a move as well. So we get that dynamic as well. But I love that was beautiful. Loved it.
Because that was me, Rod, before the Warrior.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. And you know, that's the hardest part. And you know, is convincing someone that's analytical just to take that first step and recognize the next step will be revealed and you're not going to see the whole journey. And that's okay. You know, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, you take that first step in faith and then you see the next step and the staircase reveals itself.
And just like any other profession, when you invest in your advanced education, investing into educating before jumping into commercial real estate is worth the investment.
So once you did do that, you took that first step, you educated. What were some things that surprised you that maybe you didn't expect first going into this business?
There was so much to learn, so much to unpack, but then you realize that you don't have to do it yourself. There's a team. There's a team that are experts in underwriting. There's a team and experts in deal sourcing. So you don't have to do it yourself, just like what we're doing on our single family. And that's way, and that is why when you want to scale up and when you want to grow, you have to do it with a team.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this business, beautiful thing about a program like the Warrior Program as well. And again, guys, you can go do this on your own. You just got to go find people that are doing this and connect with them. But you know, it's certainly easy in our program. And if you haven't signed up for our freaking boot camp, get your butt to my boot camp. If you DM me on any social, you can come for $197 for 3 days of training. It's not a big sales pitch. Is that a good investment, Victoria?
Yes, and I know, Rod, you're a giver. You don't have to do this, but I think it's embedded in you, the beauty of educating people, because we find joy in sharing the good news, basically.
Yeah, no question. Let me ask you this. When you were just getting going, what did you do about self-talk? What did you do about these questions and fears that you kept, before you actually took the plunge and got into this?
I think it's the realization that, stop comparing yourself to others.
Comparison trap.
Right. We have our own family dynamics, and we're in the Generation X that I have aging parents to take care of, and I have a growing active kids to take care of as well, and a profession that is sort of like a calling. So knowing and finding yourself and keeping yourself grounded. And I kind of like compare myself as a turtle in this journey. It's not a sprint, but I'm gaining traction, and I like it because I don't want to think of it that I'm super investing in this and I'm forgetting my family. So it is finding that balance, and each is different of it. I mean, and that, like I said, that's the beauty of this business, because if you're like in your 60s and you want to be aggressive, or if you want to be in your 20s and 30s and you want to be aggressive, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But when you're in the middle of it and there's so many things that you're responsible and have a lot of things to do in your plate, that's also fine. It's finding your niche in every season of your life.
How old are your children, Victoria?
My eldest is turning 20. Middle child is 17, and I have an 11-year-old.
Wow. Your hands are still full. Wow.
Yes.
And you're still doing this on the side with a full-time, very consuming job. Nursing is very consuming. And again, I want to salute you because it just speaks to your heart. And maintaining, and I'm so glad you talked about balance. I talk about that a lot in the Warrior Program and at my boot camps is maintaining that balance. It's not just about the financial success. It's about, being successful in all the aspects of your life, your relationships, your spiritual health, your health in general, your emotions, and so on and so forth. So, so let me ask you this. This will be one of the last questions. So what are you proudest of?
I'm proudest when we went to that travel in Europe, it was a teaching moment for my kids to say that I've dreamt for this and it's happening right before us. And this is a testament that I'm teaching you that if you put yourself and your heart into it, everything is achievable. And I just showed them how I did it. I work hard, we have passive income, and we have stayed course on the goals that we want to achieve. We prepared for this, and it was such a special moment for the kids. They hugged me and thanked me at the end of our
Oh, that's beautiful. And that's beautiful. And here you are with your vision board. You're on the largest commercial real estate podcast in the world because of your success in taking action and making things happen.
Thank you,
Good for
Rod.
you. Thank you. So glad to have you here. Well, I appreciate you coming on. This has been really, really nice. And I'm sorry we didn't get to see Jasper. Please give him my regards. And I look forward to seeing you either in September in Orlando or Phoenix in November, and giving you a hug.
Looking forward. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Victoria.
Mark, I'll see you later, buddy.
you.
Take care.
So one other quick thing. We encounter so many people that are frankly frustrated.
They're looking in the mirror and they're frustrated that they haven't been able to escape the rat race. They haven't been able to build cash flow to the point where they're able to have financial and time freedom with their families. And maybe they see other people buying real estate and creating, incredible cash flow, and they think, well, it's just scary. Buying apartments is intimidating. And I get it. But see, that's why we created our Warrior Mentorship Program. They're our coaching students, and they've had extraordinary results. My students, I've been teaching about 5 years, and they own upwards of 140,000 units now that we know of, right? And we feel like it's just getting going. Now, we're looking to grow this group and really take it to the next level. And honestly believe that the greatest transfer of wealth could be upon us right now with this current economic environment. Everything's going on sale. So we're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework, really like a blueprint or a map, literally step by step. And then they're able to leverage our systems and our incredible network to raise money and equity, to find deals and close those deals and build partnerships, really nationwide. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more in our incredible network and take advantage of the unbelievable opportunities that are upon us, you can apply to my Warrior Mentorship Program by texting the word CRUSH to 72345, or you can go to mentorwithrod.com. And what we'll do is we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out and see if it's a fit. Now, again, you can go to mentorwithrod.com or text the word CRUSH to 72345 to apply, and we will speak soon.